So how long has this been in the making, and what sort of sparked it all?
Well, the Institute grew out of a Center for Environmental Studies, which dates back to the 1970s, and had a relatively narrow, traditional ecological focus. And then Chuck took that over in 1996, 97, and then they got a large grant from the federal government to look at the impact of the city of Phoenix on the underlying ecosystem and vice versa. That led to a major focus for the entire university on what happens in cities. And that then became the core of what ultimately became the Global Institute of Sustainability. Highly interdisciplinary studies that involved many, many departments, lots of faculty, lots of students. And that gave us the sense that, well, we're doing something here that's relevant to cities around the world. And cities are where most of the people are on Earth and where most of the population growth is going to be. And then we realized we had other expertise at the university that was relevant to questions of biodiversity or renewable energy or other things that everybody else is talking about as well. We do work specifically with the city of Phoenix, which is the largest city in the metro area, and we also work with state agencies, we work with private companies. So a lot of what goes on at ASU from a research standpoint is done in partnership with outside stakeholders. And the Institute of Sustainability is one of the places where a lot of that work takes place, but it's also true for other parts of the university. The Institute also includes the business operations and the campus operations that Bonnie oversees. So how do we make sure that the energy consumption in the university is not excessive, and how do we conserve water? How do we make sure that we're purchasing various objects from companies that are following green practices? How do we reduce the travel that's done by people here? So that's another whole section. And then we have a large research portfolio across the university that the Institute tries to coordinate. So it's not, the research is done by faculty and students throughout ASU's 4 campuses, but we're the clearinghouse and the hub for keeping track of all of those pieces and trying to connect them up. And then we also have relationships with a number of corporations, so that we're trying to take the work that's going on here and connect it up with the real world through what companies are able to do. And the Institute is the hub that has all of those pieces within it. And I think that's one of the ways that ASU is different from all the other universities that are all looking at sustainability initiatives of different types, is that we're trying to put all of the pieces together in a coordinated way so that they can all benefit from each other. Areas where we're trying to make the campus operations greener is through the food service. So we have the largest food contract of any university in the country, and it's with Aramark, which is a very big company that does this all over the country. We switched recently from a different vendor to Aramark, in large part because they were willing to experiment using our university to see what kind of green things can we do and which ones can we do at a large scale. And this directly impacts the students because most of them eat on campus. And so there are all kinds of things with recycling and composting. We have an organic restaurant that Aramark has set up with locally grown foods. There's actually a lot of harvesting of foods that are grown on campus that are going on. A lot of the gardening wastes that are generated on this campus, which you can see is a very green campus, is composted and delivered out to farms in the area. So that's one of the areas, the whole food area, where I think we're making a lot of progress in a way that the students can see and participate in. And I think that will also have an impact on universities and colleges around the country because of Aramark's scale and their ability to take the lessons learned here and apply them to other places. Another example of that is, just in terms of the scale, Google has had an office here on our campus, and they wanted to find out how can you deploy Gmail really quickly to a large organization. So they tried that out with us. And so all of our students transferred, it was, I think it was at the time, 63,000 students over one weekend went from another system into Gmail. And that allowed Google to see what are the bugs. We got, and the students got, a lot of storage for free. So we were able to develop this corporate partnership. We actually have relations with Dell as well, where they've contributed to our High Performance Computing Center, again because of our scale, so we can partner with them. So I think there's a lot of ways that having big size can allow us to explore things that might not be possible in smaller universities or colleges.